This past weekend I drove up to Vancouver, BC to visit some friends. Some Canadian friends that have come down to Seattle numerous times, but I've never gone to their fair city.
So right now we're in Ioco, which stands for Imperial Oil Company, and it was built in 1915. And you're gonna see a lot of these houses. Basically, it started out as a tent city, and there were 80 different tents set up here. And then eventually they started building catalog homes. So you run into all of these up here. But in the 1940s, Ioco town site, they didn't want to pay landlord because they were basically trading in all this oil, but they wanted to get rid of the refinery and didn't want to pay for it anymore. So people abandoned their homes.
I asked Laura to take me to Ioco after seeing a video she made from the ghost town last month. I like old broken things. I guess it's what comes with having an antique dealer for a mother. While the place wasn't necessarily haunted with the ghosts of homicides, it just seemed haunted with the past and what could have been. It was both so sad to see these buildings just deserted, but oddly optimistic and beautiful. People once lived there, and now they didn't. They were doing better things and living better lives. I tend to give weird objects complete backstories. Again, it comes with the antique territory. After we left Ioco, Laura actually took us to the museum where she works and gave us a full tour of the Irving House, which ended up being way more fun than I thought it would be. I know quite a lot about Queen Victoria now. In case you didn't know, Vancouver is also called Hollywood North. We actually went to this cafe for coffee that doubled as a prop house where the owner rented out everything in the cafe to the film studios. That couch we sat on, probably once in a movie, so that's pretty cool. That same night, I met some new friends, new Canadian friends, and while I was called a Yankee, I still felt oddly welcomed. I hear Americans don't tend to venture across the border, so I was a rare breed. Laura and Rachel were totally confused why the wait to get into Canada was so long, because why would they all be coming here? We got to experience Vancouver's local music scene, which isn't all that different from Seattle's, and it was so lovely. I gave out my business cards, and I shook a couple of hands. I sang along to the Monster Mash, of all songs. So that was weird. The next day, Laura and Russ took me shopping downtown, and I experienced one of the weirdest things I had ever seen.
Realistically, we were at a fun open Chris car sale. I think it's called like No Vending Vancouver or something like that. So you bring basically people bring any of the collections and they sell off. So things people collect throughout the week.
We walked around this bizarre bazaar of the less fortunate, making the best out of what they find. And that's a weekly thing in Vancouver. I can't even think that would happen in Seattle. Russ found a pair of awesome shoes, and Laura found 3 Samsonite suitcases for $20 altogether. Now that's a bargain. That was seriously one of the most bizarre things I'd ever seen. Then came the exact opposite, Granville Island. Like Pike Place Market, only bigger, and Canadian. It was the first time I'd driven over the border, and within the 2 days that I was there, I grew to love Vancouver. The money was different, the Red Bull tasted weird, the drugstore cosmetics was really expensive, and the speed signs listed kilometers instead of miles. But I felt like I fit right in, even after being called a Yankee the first night. I really don't have any reason why I waited until now to go, but I definitely have a reason to go back. And I hope to go back pretty darn soon. I love you guys.